There's a secret river of filth running through the good Christian state of Arizona. The people of this state are being poisoned by this affront to God. But thankfully, we have good warriors of Christ fighting for us.
That exposing kids to explicit pornography.
To the point, could you answer the question I posed? Do you think public libraries should allow hardcore porno on the open computers that they have?
They do contain extremely graphic and overt sexually explicit, text.
First of all, if you look at the popular internet websites, the porno sites are the top ones. So people want to watch porno.
There quite literally there is pornography that is being shown to kids, given to kids through our library system and through our school system.
Oh, it all sounds so terrible. Lord, protect these saints you have sent us to defend us from evil. If we speak the name of some of this pornography, perhaps it will lose its power. State Senator David Farnsworth, say the name of this evil and rob it of its power over us.
That some 35 years ago or so, when I was raising my children, my wife and I absolutely forbid our children from reading those horrible Judy Blume books. And because we didn't clean up our society back then we have to deal with absolutely horrific things today. And with that, a vote aye.
That's right. Wait, you want to ban Judy Blume? Are you there, God? It's me, Margaret. You want to ban that Judy Blume? We were talking about dirty books, remember? Remember the pornography?
So there would have to be a separate room, or they would have to be constructed much like the peep shows that were on Times Square when I was a cop.
Yeah, peep shows. Let's ban those. No more peep shows at school libraries. Peep shows at school libraries are bad. I'm going to take that stand. Let's not ban Judy Blume books. It's hard to believe we've reached the point where we've decided to criminalize everything more offensive than Judy Blume books. Well, yeah, that's actually what Republicans want to do. They want to ban practically the entire spectrum of books on the reading rainbow. There are 2 bills in the Arizona Senate that are trying to ban books in libraries if they have explicit content, which again includes Judy Blume, apparently. Now, the Republicans pushing this bill will try to fight back against that claim, deny that's what they are doing. For example, the ACLU lobbyist came up and complained that their law would ban 1984, a universally agreed upon classic and a frequently assigned book for high school students.
I think it's important to recognize at the beginning that, we hear the term sexually explicit materials and automatically recognize the kind of things that have been already mentioned. It also includes textual depictions. And so that could be something as simple as a scene like in 1984 where there's sexual activity. That's a book that's regularly assigned to minors in high school.
Seems like these are bad bills. I mean, if you want to ban 1984, a book about individual rights versus an authoritarian government, it seems like you're the bad guy. You are the proverbial big brother. Senator Kavanaugh, a college professor, pushed back upon the idea that there was sexually explicit material in 1984 that was included in this ban. Therefore, 1984 is not included in this book ban.
No, something you said kind of startled me. I read 1984 before 1984 when I was in high school. And it was a Catholic high school. It was assigned reading. And I do not remember any sexually explicit graphic depictions or pictures in the book. I was a teenager, so I sure as hell would have remembered and probably bookmarked it. So what are you talking about exactly?
Finger guns got you big time, ACL loser. Bet you won't be able to pull out a page number on the fly and prove me wrong. Kavanaugh 1, ACLU 0.
Mr. Chair, Senator Kavanaugh, depending on the edition, I don't know exactly where it would be in the book. I have I think it's Farber and Farber edition, and it's like page 124 or so. There's a scene between the 2 main characters in which they engage in conduct that is explicitly described in the definition used in this bill.
I didn't have a page number while watching this, and it's been a very long time since I've read 1984. But isn't the female lead in 1984 a part of the Junior Anti-Sex League, and her and the main character, Winston, having sex shown as a deliberate thumbing of the nose at the state, a literal act of rebellion? I mean, seems pretty explicit to me. I mean, if you know anything about 1984, shouldn't you also know this? Also really impressive for the lobbyist from the ACLU to just have that page number handy. But anyway, they would ban 1984, into the trash compactor you go, 1984, right beside all the Judy Blume books. Now you might wonder how Republicans could push a bill that would consign Tales of Fourth Grade Nothing to their book bonfire under the rubric that it's obscene. I'm glad you asked. The answer is they just called everything obscene, to the point where they compared all these books to hustlers at the Circle K. Not exaggerating.
QB, help me reconcile the cognitive dissonance in what you're saying. I assume you support that if Circle K sells Hustler magazines, they go behind the counter, behind the little black bar, correct?
Seems like this is being done in good faith. We can all imagine going into the Circle K and asking for a copy of, otherwise known as Sheila the Great, and the latest issue of Hustler. Perfectly normal, no further questions. So, what was the Democratic response to all this madness? We all expect Republicans to act like unhinged lunatics, foaming at the mouth, but I'm sure the Democrats had a lot to say about these two bills. Well, no. They tried. They really did try. Senator Kuby tried to honestly address the issue. There was just one problem.
Would that book be effectively banned under
Hold
this law?
on. We're not going to get into hyperbole like that.
Mr. Chair, but would it chill public employees, librarians in schools or in public libraries from
having sexually explicit materials on the shelves?
Well, how do you propose? Okay, Lady Chatterley's Lover.
No. Hold on.
How would you put? Yes, but generally don't like falling into your frame.
So
I'm disturbed that you had to think about that
No,
question.
it's because you're trying to frame
It's
sort of
not.
a gotcha question.
It's not a gotcha question.
Mr. Chair, I'm talking about books with literary value that a child should have a right to go look at in a library.
Would that
They're putting
include a
li-
third
they don't
grader?
put Hustler-
Senator
they don't
Kuby.
put- Mr. Chair, I find it to be
It is
a chilling
it is
of First Amendment
incredibly
rights.
hypocritical.
First of all, generally a 7-year-old isn't wandering around by themselves in the library, but I
Hold
think.
on.
Well, and to that point about the
Hold
fourth
on.
grade,
No,
Mr. Chair, you
back
can
to the
pick,
point,
you can
though.
Senator
pluck out,
Kavanaugh.
Just back to the
and you're trying to chill librarians, you're trying to chill schools and teachers from.
Senator Kuby, please make that case,
Mr.
Senator
Chair,
Kuby.
Mr. Chair, I'm tired of the badgering. Let's move on.
Please make that case, Senator Kuby.
Mr. Chair, let's move on. I'm tired of your badgering.
I understand that you don't want to have to defend that, but that is exactly what you're doing
Mr.
with
Chair,
your
I'll
opposition
explain
to
in my
this bill.
explanation and vote. Let's move on.
No, I'm asking you a question, Senator Kuby.
And he's a man, so you better pay attention. A man who owns a Cybertruck and was indicted for trying to rig an election, but a man nonetheless. Imagine screaming at someone non-stop every time they tried to talk and then saying, "You are now welcome to make your case" at the end of it. Of course she'd bail on any debate. What debate? It's just Hoffman and his little yipper dog barking at Kuby while she tries to talk. Hoffman shouted down anyone who tried to bring a modicum of reason to the committee hearing. Speaking of misogyny, this isn't the first time this has happened. Last year I made a similar compilation. I won't put it here because it is much longer than the minute or so compilation I just showed, because Jake Hoffman just won't shut up, especially when a woman is talking. So that was the Republican strategy in committee. Speaking about how Judy Blume books are base pornography and then spamming anyone who tries to make a different point. There was also another tactic they used, but before I get to that underhanded and dishonest tactic Republicans use to push their book bans, I want to show you a moment that really moved me from the hearing. Earlier, to show his sincerity on the issue, Jake Hoffman talked about his final meeting with his friend Charlie Kirk. It was quite moving. I hope you're ready for this. Make sure to have a Kleenex ready.
I put some lube on and got him on his knees, and I began to slide into him from behind. I pulled out of him and kissed him while he masturbated. He asked me to turn over while he slipped a condom on himself. He got on top and slowly inserted. It was the worst pain I think I have ever felt in my life.
Boy, I can imagine another pain Kirk felt that was worse than that. I'm just kidding. That was an out-of-context clip Hoffman read from a book for shock value, which was another tactic Republicans used at the hearing. They ripped images and snippets of books to show out of context and characterize as pornography, which, Hoffman, if you're watching, do you see how taking a clip out of context removes meaning from it? That a book exists within its context and ripping a quote sans context is unfair? Okay, enough joking. Now I'll show you the real clip of Hoffman talking about what happened at his last meeting with Charlie Kirk.
She rode me hard after that, rode the leather cock as if it were part of me. Her hands braced on my shoulders, her breast swaying beneath her camise with every thrust. I gripped her hips, tried to match her rhythm, felt the friction against my own swollen clit with every moment. She came with a cry, grinding down, shuddering, and when she lifted herself off, the ditto glistened with her spend.
At which point, Kirk tenderly looked into Hoffman's eyes and yelled, "Superfudge!" Actually, no, I fooled you all again. That's another out-of-context clip that Hoffman ripped from a book to make his case about obscenity. There was no mention of Charlie Kirk at all in the hearing, because everyone gave up on milking that corpse months ago. Good luck getting a Charlie Kirk memorial built, Jake. If you feel angry, Hoffman, imagine how the book authors felt when you ripped their work for your own perverted means. Or if that isn't enough, maybe you should imagine how normal people feel when you posted a clip of yourself mocking an autistic person at the committee hearing. Maybe that'll help you understand why everyone on Earth despises Republicans. I'm History Sock, and I'll see you at the next committee hearing.